It's a great thing for a man to drop his burden of performance. Looking back on when I became red pilled, when I left the Matrix, um, that was the biggest relief from my plate. Was the fact that I didn't have to perform, the fact that there was no burden on me anymore, and that's probably the single greatest thing that's ever come of me taking the red pill. Is that I have removed that from my life, and it was a pressing um, it was a pressing weight around my neck, you know, and at a very young age. So I can't speak for every young man. I come from poverty. I come from welfare, DSHS, food stamps. I come from, Section 8, not having a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, really. That's what I come from. And I'm a white guy. Okay. So, growing up playing basketball on the basketball team, not feeling like I fit in because of that, seeing other kids who have both parents, right? Whose parents have, whose dad makes money, enough to send them away to basketball camp. I couldn't even do that. I had to work twice as hard because I didn't get those moments that they got at the basketball camp. And yet I still beat a lot of them out for positions on the varsity team and things like that because I worked hard. But still, even though I saw that success and I saw the discrepancy between the way they grew up and the way I grew up and the effect that it had on me, a lot of times now I'll look back and think how long I had PTSD from not only dysfunction in my own family, but PTSD from the stress of not knowing how I'm going to survive, not knowing how to be a man, not knowing how to take care of myself, not knowing how to work, not knowing how to do these things. And when I took the red pill, I went through a period of about 2 years from about 19 to age 21, which is the perfect time to have this type of existential revelation and taking the red pill, things like that, right? Sort of sort of having this existential experience where I just, what the hell is life about? What's going on? Why am I like this? Why is the world like this? All these type of things that I went through during that time, and coming to the conclusion that as a man, my worth is based on what I can provide, my money. And it was something that was latent within me. And I realized at a certain point that it was my very nature that I was struggling with. My very nature, which said, hey man, you got to get out there and do something or else nothing's going to happen. No woman's going to want you. You're not going to have a family. And it was when I took the red pill that I realized that, okay, then I don't want it. If you're not going to love me when I got nothing, then I don't want it. And there was a big relief. It was that weight around my neck was taken away. And I just realized, hey, it's okay. I don't get to procreate. Oh well. I don't get to have a good family. Oh well. Because I'd rather have the real thing. And if there's no such thing as a real thing, if it doesn't happen, so be it. Because if I can't have it according to my estimation of what it really should be, then I don't really want it. Because if I have to be a dancing monkey and jump through the hoops in order to get the thing that's supposed to be real, then it's really not real. So that was a weight off my shoulders, and I just came to the conclusion that it's okay. I don't need it. I don't even want it anymore. But it was a process because it was something that I realized was ingrained in me. So a lot of times if I'm arguing with somebody or I'm debating with somebody, a lot of times all in the back of my mind I'm thinking, this guy just doesn't get it. He just doesn't know because he's never been to that place. He's never been to that place where you have the self-actualization, you have the self-realization. Oh, wait a minute, I'm just doing what I'm programmed to do. You see, because in the back of my mind, in the back of my heart, or whatever, I felt, oh no, I can't provide. I can't do this thing that men do. So therefore, it's not going to work out. It's not, no woman's going to want me. And I was right. But the freeing experience was when I said, wait a minute, why am I thinking like that in the first place? Wait a minute, why am I, what is that programming that makes me afraid that if I can't provide, no woman will want me? What is that? And I realized at a certain point that it was something that was animalistic. It was something that was, it was programmed into me. And it's like, that's when I realized, oh wait, if I drop this and I let it go, that's leaving the matrix. That is me taking the red pill and walking away. You could call it MGTOW, you could call it red pill, whatever. It was just a realization. And this was actually long before MGTOW was even a thing, and red pill, this is long before red pill was even popular. I didn't even know what red pill was when I came to that realization. This was like 2000, I want to say 2000, between 2006 and 2009 was that process. Me coming to the realization, even coming to the realization that if I didn't work and provide, I couldn't have a family, was probably 2002 to 2005, or that era. I was coming to that realization, but I was still scared and I was still struggling. I was like, oh, I got to figure something out, and I couldn't do anything because I didn't know. I didn't have a father to say, hey, here's what you got to do. You got to do this. You got to take these steps. You got to do this. You got to do that to get a good job or whatever. Start a company, whatever. Have a career, whatever. Do this. And I didn't know any of that stuff because I didn't have a father. And we grew up poor. Mind you, it wasn't because my mom was a messed up woman and this, that, and the third, which is unfortunately happens to a lot of young men. No, it was different for me. I'm not going to go into exactly how it was different. It's too personal, but it was different. It's not because my mom was my mom was not one of these messed up young women. Probably is one of the things that saved me, because if she was, then she probably would have tried to mentally and psychologically program me to be one of these white knights. And I had my father for about 12 years of my life. For better or for worse, and most of it was for worse, but I got to see a lot of dysfunction, and I got to see, and my father wasn't a saint, so it's not that I'm, I could be one of these guys who hates men. There are these guys out there, these white knights, who really, because maybe they had an asshole father or whatever, they just, they are inclined to hate men, or they are inclined to throw men under the bus. There are a lot of guys out there like that. But I tend to feel like I'm more objective, and I see things from, I try to see things from an objective viewpoint. And I look at the scenario and I say, wait a minute, what's really going on? Whose behavior is really more messed up? Look at statistics, all these things. And this was all in that process. But also, like I said, between 2002 and 2005, I was going through this process of deprogramming, not by choice. It was because I couldn't do it. It was because I couldn't make it. And then I realized 2005, 2006, it really dawned on me, and I just came to the conclusion that, oh, yeah, if I don't work, then I'm probably not going to be able to have a family. If I don't have a career, I'm probably not going to be able to have a family. How am I going to survive? And it was at the point where I was like, how am I going to survive? Not even just how am I going to have a family, but how am I going to survive? And that was ironically freeing, because as opposed to just saying, oh, just folding and going under and saying, well, it's over, maybe I'll commit suicide or whatever. It was freeing because I was like, well, I can't do it anyways. So why am I worried about this? And then it was during the next couple years after I came to that realization, from about 2006 to about 2009, I came to the realization that I need to drop that burden of performance. I need to let that go. And doing so, it was freeing. Because it's like, okay, all right, if I don't have this performance success, then I don't get the quote unquote love. And that was when I saw it for what it really is. Oh, it's not real. It's a lie. All these people out here who have these houses and woo 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 and, you know, campers and all, they got all these material possessions which translate to security. That word security, which is what women want, right? You take those things away from them and the woman's going to leave. And that's when I realized, oh, it's a lie. There's no such thing as true love. These people aren't really in love. These people don't really have love. They might have a sort of pair bond type of love, meaning, oh, because they've been together for a certain period of time that they love each other. But again, you take away that base foundation. You take away their teepees, take away their tents, take away their houses, so to speak, right? Well, that love is gone because the woman leaves. She ain't going to stick with you living in your car. She ain't going to stick with you living in motels. Women want security. So that's when I came to that realization, and I was like, okay, that's freeing. I don't have the burden of performance anymore. I don't want to be just utility. I'm done with that. And that was when I left the Matrix, and that was when I really took the red pill, and I was like, okay, all right, I get it now. Love isn't really real, at least not true love, at least not unconditional love. Yeah, they love each other, sure. I've chosen him and he's the guy. Yeah, because he's got the house, because he's got the security blanket. Take away his security blanket and then do you stick with him? No, then you don't really love him. You love him, you love his security, and it's part of who he is. And many men will actually argue that and say, well, that's the men's job, that's normal, woo woo woo. And it's like, okay, well, if that's what you want, go for it. Not me. No, because I remember what it was like when I didn't have that. I remember how women treated me when I couldn't do that. So if I ever could do that, why would I go back to these people who had no loyalty? Why would I go try to get what you grovel to get a woman, which is what men have to do today, right? We have to jump through the hoops, right? Present ourselves, take them on dates, impress them, and then maybe they'll give us a crumpet of pussy. Maybe they'll date us. Maybe they'll get into a relationship with us. But if there's somebody better, someone hotter, someone who makes more money, then we're SOL. I had to do, I don't want to do all that. I remember what it was like when I had nothing. I remember what it was like when I didn't have the nice clothes and the nice car and the house. And guess how they treated me? Like shit. Like I was a nobody. Now all of a sudden I got the nice car. I got the status. Now you want me? It's that simple, man. It's really that simple. That's what it was like leaving the Matrix. That's the relief that I felt. Oh, okay. I don't have to feel this anxious anymore. I don't have to feel this worried anymore because it doesn't matter anyways. Because I realized that that's not what I want anyways. If you can't love me when I'm in the trenches, then you can't love me when I'm in the castle. You can't love me out in the wilderness, out in the swamps and the deserts, then you don't get to love me when I got my kingdom, when I got my castle. You just wait around for me to have my castle and then you want to join, then you want to sign up? How convenient for you. And what are you doing in the meantime? You're out sucking and fucking. You're out sleeping around. You're out trading away my pussy for $40 meals at Sizzlers or whatever the fuck. Come on, give me a break. So that's when I woke up, and that's when I saw, and that's when I dropped that burden of performance. Anyways, thanks you guys for listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.